Morning, folks. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra Terry, the mindset coach and founder of Manifesting Miracle Makers, rounded up her LinkedIn family once again. First, we've got Brian Smart, Mr. Content and Dadpreneur. He's striking the perfect balance between raising his youngest daughter and creating masterful content. Next, meet Denise Annalise Spiller, the gig expert and relentless traveler and writer. She turns every gig into an adventure. Then there's Jay Pasquale, the storytelling strategist, a poet and voiceover artist. He's weaving tales that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe even change your perspective. And wrapping it up, we have Eric Clark, the soul speaker and author. He's here to soulfully help you craft your story and narrative. Get ready for a show filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the magic of the LinkedIn family. Let's welcome Cassandra Terry and the rest of the Fan Five.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. It is Focus Friday, the day after a holiday in the U.S., and we are here. Kim is already feeling us, Denise. Kim said, "Who's feeling tired? Me." Happy Friday from Philadelphia. We're gonna steal a little bit of Camille's. It's not you, it's we, Kim. We are feeling tired, but we are here. And good morning, Conchita. Look, that opening. Oh, I think she's saying love that opening for the show. Look, we are evolving. We are evolving. We are tightening things up. We're getting a little bit better. We can credit that to Jay Pasquale himself. And he's right on time. I said his name and he's joining us. Let's see. Oh, I don't know he authenticated with YouTube, it says, but it's not allowing me to bring him to the screen, to the stage. I don't have that option. Kim said we showed up. Sometimes, Kim, that's literally all you can do. Show up. Just show up. And then let the fact that you've shown up be the catalyst to get you where it is that you're trying to go today, because somebody didn't show up, right? So that puts us one step ahead of that. You know, we showed up for ourselves. We're looking at what we can do to continue to move towards the goals that we have for ourselves. So we're focused. And that's what today is all about. Michael says, super intro, Jay. We're getting some feedback right before you came in. Let's see, was it Conchita who said, love that opening for the show? So we're getting some positive feedback there. Hey, Coral from across the pond. Sharon said, hey, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Sharon. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this edition, the focused Friday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. And it is fabulous. I feel great. I've got most of my fam here. I think Eric will probably join us before it's all over, but yesterday was a holiday in the U.S. So we ate a lot. We hung out with family. We had a lot of different things going on. So we'll see. We'll see if we get the blessings of the great outdoors that Eric typically brings with him. But for now, I've got the first in the room this morning was Denise Annalise Spiller. So we are so glad to have you with us, Denise, all the way from Grenada. And then we've got Mr. Content. I really can't focus on the Mr. Content right now. It's Dadpreneur. He is dadding as only he can. He's got his daughter right there with him, and she's resting. And so we are not likely to see his face this morning because they're still in their morning transition. So welcome, Brian. Welcome to your little one. And Jay, we weren't sure. We know today is the day that you're hosting your family for the holiday. So I didn't know if you cooked all night or was up cooking this morning, but I am so glad to see your face and glad that you're here to hear how people are responding so positively to the intro that you did. Let's see. Morgan says, hola desde Ghana. Hello, Morgan. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being with us. Kim says, focus sounds like a coffee in order over here. Going to make that, listen in, and be energized. You guys have to speak. I just have to listen. Proud and thankful for all of you. Kim, I hope your weekend, your holiday, and what's coming up for you is blessed because you are a consistent blessing to us, and we really, really, really do appreciate you. Justin says, "I'm here because of Dad Entrepreneur." So, Justin, are you a dadpreneur as well? I see you're listening in from it looks like YouTube. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not sure if you've been with us before, but the dadpreneur really works to normalize putting family first. So whatever is going on in his household is going to take precedent over what we're doing here and what he's doing in his business. And he's very, very clear about that and has made that a part of his mission is to normalize putting your family first. And that just gives me the warm fuzzies every time I think about it. And we often hear her in the background because she's coming in asking Dad for his attention or for something. And as soon as she finishes her sentence, he could be mid-sentence, just like I am right now, and he turns his attention to her. And what that says to her, and what the expectation that that's going to set for her, for the man that's in her life in the future, is she being a priority. And who wouldn't want to have that? That is amazing. So Justin says, not yet, still work for a company. I have listened to multiple Fam 5 shows. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Welcome, Justin. So many scroll throughs. Sometimes I miss them. I call it my old lady brain. But I am so glad that you tuned in again. And I still work for a company too. And there's nothing wrong with getting that paycheck on a regular basis, right? And when the time is right, we make the transition that works on our timing for us and our family. So I definitely respect that. Justin says, I love the positivity that you all bring. Well, that's exactly what you're doing right now. It's what Kim does. It's what many of you guys do. I know Coral is listening, and Michael and Conchita, Sharon. I see Morgan there. You guys are all bringing positivity to us. And because we're receiving it, it's so easy to pour it out, right? There's some reciprocity there. We get a lot out of the time that we spend with you guys. So we appreciate you all very much as well. So today on the Cassandra Terry Morning Show, it's Friday. And so on Friday, we talk about focus. So let me bring up our quote for today, and then we'll dig in one at a time and give our perspective. And here's Mr. Eric Clark, Soul Speaker, has joined us. Welcome, Eric. We just finished a little bit of intro and welcoming our guests. We've got quite a few from LinkedIn and from YouTube, and we're just saying hello to everybody. Conchita said good vibes only. And you're just in time for us to go through to this morning's quote. It says, you are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. And that's by James Allen. And so what that's really saying is where you are right now is a result of what you focused on before, and where you're going to be in the future is a result of what you're focusing on now. So focus is important. Mindset is important. Being intentional about where we put our resources is so very important, because that's what lays the foundation for us to either move towards the goals that we have for ourselves, stay stuck. And sometimes it's stuck because we've gotten ourselves into a space where we're focused on the problem versus the solution. Sometimes, like what Denise shared earlier in the week, we're in a holding pattern, which is a-okay, because that's a learning space. Or sometimes we're so off track with how we're thinking, it's actually moving us in the opposite direction. But it only takes one thing for us to figure out where we are and to make the adjustments. We have to be aware. We have to be self-aware, focus in, tap into ourselves and see where is my energy being spent? Where is my focus? What am I doing mentally, where are my thoughts? What's going on inside? What is that inner voice saying to me? And when you are aware, now you're in a position to actually do something different. You can reframe those thoughts. You can move towards solution versus being stuck in a problem. And you open up for yourself the possibility of getting back on track and moving forward. Let's see. We've got a few more comments coming in. Well, Eric, you came in with the bang. Justin said, Eric! Bunch of exclamation points. And he said, amazing. And Senya says, good morning, everyone. Justin said, challenge yourself by introducing yourself to other ways of thought, as you can learn from others and apply your own life as a value add. I love that. Let's share that and look at that again. Okay, Justin, you have been here. I recognize your photo. Challenge yourself by introducing yourself to other ways of thought, as you can learn from others and apply to your own life as a value add. Yes. And there's a couple of pieces to what he's saying there that really ties in with the messages that we're bringing in and day out, right? So being open and curious and putting yourself in a position to where you can learn from others. You're taking in additional information. You're taking in new ways of thinking. You're taking in information from a perspective that you may not have heard before. And so to me, that's the beauty of an interaction with somebody, and what we could do so much better as a country, instead of being so locked on one side or the other, and all I want to do is pull you into my way of thinking. That's kind of how we move, and that's why the country is so polarized. We have the left, we have the right, and the two just can't seem to meet in the middle. And meeting in the middle doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to just throw out my values, I'm going to throw out how I think, and I'm going to just agree with you. That's not what I'm saying. But if Justin has a point of view and I have an opposing point of view, we're kind of North Pole, South Pole on this thing. The best thing that I could do is be curious about his point of view and how he got there and how he's thinking, because in that conversation, I'm learning, right? And there may be something that I get from that conversation, he says, that I can apply to my own life as a value add. What I say all the time is, when we take in information, when we learn something new, we have to integrate it into how we move. We can slightly change our way of thinking. We can pick up a new habit. Something changes. And the only way for things to change is for something to change. We have to be willing to do something different if we want different, right? So learning from someone who has a differing point of view doesn't weaken your point of view, but it will actually give you the possibility of expanding your knowledge, expanding how you think, and getting to know the individual instead of being so focused on what makes you different. Because that's how we create these factions, and we live in these different sides of the world, never coming together. And Conchita said we have to learn to agree to disagree and move forward in the best interest of all involved. Absolutely. I love that. Sometimes we don't agree, even as the Fam Five. We actually collaborate, and there's hardly a day that we don't get together and have conversations. Do we always think exactly the same way? Do we always have the same point of view? Absolutely not. But that's where the power is, because I am limited in my thinking and in my being by what I know, by what I've experienced. But let's pour in a little bit of Denise, and let's pepper in some Jay, and let's bring in some Brian, and top it off with a little bit of Eric. And now what I was thinking has expanded, because it's beyond the tip of my nose. It's beyond exactly what I've experienced and all that I know. So I'm learning in the process of our disagreement, right? I'm learning something if I'm open to it. And we all can walk away from a conversation like that more enlightened, a little bit more information, and better off for it. And we can learn how to agree to disagree, how to have differing points of view and still be in relationship. I think that's so powerful. So thank you both for your quotes. Let's see who else came in. MD Abdur said, good evening, all of my friends from Bangladesh. I don't know how far is Bangladesh from Bangalore? I'll be in Bangalore in a couple of weeks. I'm going for work. Oh, my mom made it. Good morning, mother. Let's see. Justin said, embrace our differences. Life is learning. We've got lots of comments this morning. You guys are amazing. Kim said, my cup of coffee says, make it happen. With all these bright colored flowers, I love it. People need to surround themselves with positive people that can be open and receive and learn not just to shut down. Agree. That shutdown is something else. That's a real passive aggressive move, and I used to be the master of it because I was showing up in the world as somebody who needed to be liked so much, who wanted to please everybody, such a people pleaser. When we got to a certain point, the only thing that I could see was almost a total system malfunction, just shut down, because now the next thing I say might make the situation worse, might hurt somebody's feelings. I may sound bad, I may look bad. And I had all this stuff swirling around in my head. System default to shut down. Just too much going on. And in that shutdown, or that silent treatment is another form of shutdown. Okay, Denise. You still not coming back from Grenada? Okay. You won't get no text from me. You won't get no phone calls from me. I don't even see you because I want you home. I'm shutting down. Our kids do that, right? When they get mad, they shut down. And sometimes our emotional behavior is like that of a kid. And that shutdown is one of those things. It's different to pause. When we pause and create space to process our emotions a little bit so that we can come back with an actual response instead of just reacting to everything that's going on emotionally, that space is a form of emotional intelligence. It allows you to get your stuff together and show up and respond how you would like to. But the shutdown is, I didn't get my way, or I don't like what's going on, so that's it. 3 years old. All of a sudden, I'm emotionally 3 years old. So, yes, we do not want to be passive aggressive. We want to keep growing and evolving, and we want to share our point of view. We want to receive the point of view of others, and hopefully both walk away from the conversation enriched, pondering, thinking. Jay said it he says it in the intro when he talks about his storytelling. That's one of the things he says is, maybe, just maybe, you have a different way of looking at things. He's not saying you're going to agree with everything that I say, but maybe there's a little bit of understanding that you didn't have before, a recognition of how someone who thinks differently than you, who come up differently from you, who has a little bit of a different value system, how they got there. It humanizes everybody in the conversation. And when we are interacting human to human versus point of view to point of view, fact to fact, I need to be right. Oh, I won this one. Oh, I'm going to get my point across. Sometimes we win at the detriment of our relationships, and winning that conversation becomes the priority versus nurturing the conversation. Difficult conversations can make a relationship. They don't necessarily break a relationship. That was hard for me to learn. I was so concerned about things going awry, insulting somebody, or maybe something that I say may not go over well. And in that, I limited how vulnerable I could be with people. And when you limit that, you limit how the conversation or the relationship can really go and grow. So I had to learn in those, and it took people around me modeling that. It took me stumbling into difficult conversations and coming through the other side, and me and the persons are still good. We're actually better because we've got a deeper understanding. Those types of things I had to learn over time because it just wasn't the way I processed early on at all. Shut down made more sense to me. It felt safer. So thank you for sharing that as well, Kim. Let's see what else we've got. Justin said, thank you. Conchita said, great point, Cassandra. Expansion of thought and still be in relationship. Well said. Thank you, Conchita. Sharon says, so true. Justin still dropping gems. He said, just as you should be in company with positive people, having a positive space to work and create is critical to success, in my opinion. I agree with that. Our space, Brian always talks about not liking clutter. My space, when you walk into my space, especially my office and my bedroom, that is going to tell you what state of mind I'm in. If things are somewhat in disarray, I don't like that at all. If they're in disarray, it doesn't necessarily mean, she's been working so hard, she's busy, she's kind of got stuff out of order. No, it means in here, I'm in disarray. And things have gotten out of control. And I've got this visual that says, hey, get things back in order, create that space where because that's when I'm most productive. That's when things really flow, is when I have order around me. And I know that about myself. And so I've taught myself that if I see that slipping, it's not so much about organizing. It's about, I need to tap in and I need to see what's going on with me and why I'm kind of all over the place and get back synchronized. And then I'll put stuff in order and now I'm ready to move on. But if things are in disarray, I am mentally not in a good space. So having a space to work and create a positive space is critical. And knowing what that is for you. I need pretty. I need a little sparkle and I need some quiet. I've got Alexa right here. So if I need a little music, I can turn that on, but I can't have a bunch of back and forth and things vying for my attention. I need to really focus in. And I'm a super visual person. So if you were able to see my office, you would see pretty paintings that have a little bit of sparkle in them. You see pictures of me and of my family. That's there too. But there's just things. I've got positive words on the wall. I need that space. I've got the most beautiful chandelier ceiling fan that you could ever see. My room is super girly because I put my stamp on it. This is my space. It's not where the kids play. It's not where I hang out with my husband. This is my space to be productive, to get in. I write. I hang out with the fam five when we're having meetings and stuff. It's where I do my thing. And so it's set up and it represents me and what order and what positivity looks like for me. When you walk into my office, it's like walking into my brain. You would learn a lot about me without me saying a word. It's like, oh, she's a girly girl. She's got sparkle stuff everywhere. You just start to learn what my comfort zone looks like, what makes me positive and happy. I'm surrounded by it because this is my happy space. And so for some people, this space would be like, ew, really? Are you 12? Sometimes, yeah. My energy can be that teenage energy because I like the glitter and the glitz and the fun. And I don't apologize for that. It does something for me. It fuels me. And I know that. So even when I go into the corporate job, if I'm suited up, I probably have on a really sparkly belt or a sparkly pair of shoes or a really big pair of ears. I'm going to bring a big part of my personality into every space that I go in. Otherwise, I don't go in whole. I don't go in as me. I don't have the same focus. I may not have quite set my intention. So yeah, these big dangles and the sparkly, that's just me all the time. Even in the stuff I sleep in, it's everywhere. And I'm known for that. So when my kids or my husband, when people buy me something, it's probably not going to be a flat color. It's probably going to have a little sheen, a little shimmer, a little sparkle, because that's what I like. That's who I am. So let's see. We've got some more comments coming in. Camille, yay! Camille from Canada has joined us. Camille says, pause and reset to get back in order. Love it, Cassandra. This one's for you, Eric. Justin said, Eric needs the outdoors. Everyone has their space. I love it. Exactly. And I love how it's come full circle. He's been grounding for the length of time that I've known him. So I'm sure he's been doing it for years and years. But it's really good to see now he's writing about it. He's sharing it with other people. And it's just becoming more a part of this fullness of who Eric is. And just like I people in my circle know me from my sparkle, you guys absolutely know him for being outside and grounding. And I think that's really cool. Let's see. Kim says, I have been trying for the past couple of months to think and talk about not where I am, but where I'm going. It's hard, when you are in a bad space, but I just keep driving that mindset. I have not been in the best space the past several months, but I just keep driving forward and showing up. You guys have helped me more than you know. So grateful. Kim, that is an aha moment for me, because how you show up in this space is so positive and so supportive that it's easy to assume that that's how you're feeling all the time, right? That's the only thing we know about Kim is she comes in, she drops these positive comments, she leaves these little gems that are on point with what we're talking about, the topic of the day. So all we see and experience is positivity. And guys, I just want to take Kim's transparent share and say we can't assume. We have to check in with each other. We have to connect and be aware, and just don't assume, because I smile bigger when on the inside I'm not doing so great. It's just a natural default. So my outside doesn't always match what's going on the inside. And so don't assume, especially as we're going through and into this holiday season. We need each other, and we need to reach out, and we need to touch base, especially your strong friends. That's always been me. And sometimes the strong friends are just where everybody comes to dump their stuff, but no one ever comes to give you relief. They don't even think about it. And they feel so much better after they've dumped it. But if you're empathetic like I am, it is now all over me. You have told me everything that's going on in your world, and now that I'm experiencing it in my own way, it's all over me. So I had to learn some coping mechanisms and some way to clean myself up after I had some of those conversations with people, because they had just transferred that energy. Now they're feeling a lot better, and I'm swimming in their stuff. And that's okay. It's not a negative. It's something that I had to know about myself. I didn't realize how I would peak and dip, depending on who I was talking to. But they were dumping their bucket, and I didn't have a way of cleaning all that stuff off after they were gone. And it's important to know how you process, how you fall in this thing. So I'm really encouraging you guys to focus on yourself, and during this season, learn as much about how you manage, especially energy and conversation, and do what Kim's doing. Talk about it. Be transparent. Now I am inclined to check in, just a DM. I don't know how to reach Kim in any other way, but I can DM and say, "Hey, how's your day going?" You know, it's the least I could do, because she shows up here on a regular basis and is supporting us. I wouldn't know to do that in the I was going to say in the sea of people who are coming through, but let's say stream. We're not a sea yet, but we're a stream. We're a cute little pond in the pond of people that are coming through, right? I see, just like Justin this morning, he had to remind me that he's been here a few times. And it's because it's scrolling. We're having these conversations, and then I'm usually, it's a work day, I'm going to work and bouncing back and forth, so I can miss things, especially if there's not something, really impactful like this message is to me. So I'm just encouraging us to hear, to see, to feel those folks that are in our community, and right now be hyper vigilant and hypersensitive about what folks may be going through as we enter this season. So focus on yourself, so you know how to take care of yourself in it, but also focus on those in your community, and just make sure that those folks are doing okay, especially your quote unquote strong friends. If you've got somebody that you consistently go to and dump your ear, you can go to, check on that person, because they're probably the one that no one's thinking to check on. They feel like they have it together all the time. They have all the answers. I know they're good, but sometimes we're not. So check on your strong friends too, just to make sure that they've got a good way to clear out all their stuff and stay that strong friend. Let's see. Uh, Timatope says it's almost, I think, oh, it scrolled 3 p.m. though. Okay. And then Conchita, Eric even shared his feet on the Grounding with Granny newsletter. Must see and read. It's a must see must read for everyone. Thank you for that, Conchita. Kim says exactly. I think she was responding when I was talking about the strong friends. My mom Joanne also said exactly, and Kim said that too. I am always the helper and fixer. So hard to need help when you are the helper. Yeah, and it's really hard for people to realize that you need help. So keep doing what you're doing, Kim. Being transparent, where you feel it's safe to share what's going on with you. Plug into to that part of your support system, and DM me. I have a phone or an iPads by me all the time. So if you just need to woosah for a moment, DM me and we can digitally woosah together. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Justin said, be strong and be willing to drop your mask, whatever your mask is, and you will be rewarded. And he says, love the transparency, Kim. So I'm loving what's happening in this room and how everyone is being supportive of one another. So I've talked forever and my throat is feeling it. So I am going to bring the quote back up. And then Denise Annalie Spiller, you were the first one in the room this morning. So I'm going to read the quote one more time, and then you share with us whatever is on your mind and in your heart on this Focus Friday. You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. James Allen. All right, over to you, Denise.
Good morning. So if you guys see me dapping, I'm not crying. I'm literally sitting right in front of a fan this morning, and it's making me tear. So it is
Thanks
hot.
for that, because I saw that, and that was the first thing I thought. I was like,
yeah, it's hot.
What did we say?
It's a little hotter and stuffier than usual, so I kind of couldn't stop sweating, and now put the fan right on me, and it's just making me go like. So
well, my
that's
mom is screaming your name, Denise, a bunch of exclamation points and a bunch of hearts. So you and Eric
Good
both
morning,
big,
Mama
big
J.
reactions this morning.
So I wanted to say first, the comments, like, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna focus on one because it goes with my share, but the comments have really blessed me. They kind of got me all over the place, but they blessed me so much. So Justin, he said a comment very early on about learning and growing and being open to learning and growing. And yesterday, Focus Friday, I always remind you guys and anybody listening, that is my biggest challenge. Focus is my biggest challenge. My personality always has been. As a kid, I was a person who wandered off. I love shiny new things. My mother lost me several times. She claims she didn't lose me. She claims I got lost. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I am hyper familiar with being brought back by security and wearing the hats and waiting at the security station in the mall from being a kid that wandered off. I still do it as an adult. I wander to new places. I wander off. I don't mind exploring. What that transfers into, though, when that part of my personality transfers into a lack of focus, when it's time to sit down at the desk and get started. And guilty pleasure, I love me some Christmas corny movies. And you already know they started. So I'm over here resisting the big screen over there to turn on a Christmas movie. And I turned on a Christmas movie yesterday, and I was kind of riddled with guilt. Ludacris has this movie out. It's a Christmas movie, and I wanted to watch it. And I was like, I got to prepare for this workshop on Saturday. So I was in an argument, a debate with myself. And then I convinced myself it was okay to take the time to watch the movie. I went through this whole thing. I was like, I don't have to do that. I pulled out my sheet that I use, my focus blocks, and I shared with Cassandra that I made this myself, and I share it with others, that I use time blocks. And they are 2-hour blocks with a 20-minute break in between. And what I realized is I made that before I even knew that I can't sit down straight. I say I need straight 4 hours, but it's never straight for me because my focus and my attention starts to waver at about 120. At about 90 minutes, about an hour and 20 minutes, I'm kind of done. I start looking over things. I start picking things. So I adjusted the time slots into an hour and a half, and it's working really well. And my little breaks are about 15 minutes. I get up, I walk. Sometimes I go outside. I might make a call because it completely takes me off. I might check on my daughter, call my son, say, how's it going? And tell them, hey, I got 15 minutes. I got a little break. Because one thing that my family has finally learned to do, and I appreciate them so much, is that they respect that I am working, even though I'm at home. When I first started working from home, they would call me, be like, what you doing? Well, in my head, I'd be like, damn, I'm working. What you think I'm doing? But they didn't associate it with like having a job. And now they respect that. I'll be like, oh, I'm taking my little break. I just wanted to check on you. It clears your mind. It gives you a chance to go back, sit back at the spot you should be working in, or you could even move your spot. I did that yesterday. I moved my work spot. I went in between inside, outside, sitting, standing. I switched so much and I was so productive yesterday, even with my Christmas movie. And I had Christmas music in the background. I just happen to love some of the old school, that, you know, chestnuts roasting and all that. I love the traditional Christmas music. It just makes me feel good. So yesterday, I realized that I might even have to cut my focus time down. I'm thinking about it, to even an hour and 15 instead of an hour and a half. Because I seem to be, I think it's the beauty of this space I'm in. I think it's this island. I think it's Maggie the goat who's back. Maggie's back. They brought her yesterday. I think it's making me just want to kind of explore or go out, enjoy something. Yesterday, I caught the sunset. So I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the reminder that it's okay to reevaluate your own learning styles, your own approach, whatever it takes. On this Focus Friday, I'm telling myself it's okay to do what somebody might call losing focus, which is watch a movie or watch a part of a movie or turn on a video, when really it helps me focus even more. I was quite productive yesterday, even with the 2 Christmas movies I watched. So it helped me focus. I stayed up a little later than usual. And I want to say, my last thing I really wanted to say is, if you surround yourself, I think Justin said it also, surrounding yourself with positive people is one thing, but knowing what you need in your space, knowing yourself enough to know whether you can, I can't work in a lot of clutter. The space I work with right in front of me has to be fairly organized. I know that about myself. So, you know, when I'm at home, I always make my bed and I always clean off my desk a little bit. I at least organize it. If you know what you need, organize your space to fit your focus style. So thank you guys so much for pouring into my life, into my spirit, and into my my okayness, like with myself, because sometimes I just judge myself so harshly. I was doing that yesterday. And at the end of the day, I was like, why'd you have to go through all that? So being a part of the Fam5, being a part of the Cassandra Terry morning show, not only makes me focus, but it holds me accountable to give myself a little more grace. Because the worst critic for a lot of us is ourselves. Nobody else has to beat up on me, because Denise is doing a good job of that on her own. So the mindfulness, the awareness of it, Cassandra, your cheerleader voice always in my head, that I can give myself some grace. It reminds me of my grandmother, who was probably the most graceful person, and who would always remind us that we're going to trip up. We might fall down, but she would say, y'all keep going, baby. Just keep going. So I always hear those voices in my head. And I thank you guys so much for like just accepting me as is, to be my transparent self, not only as part of this family, but part of this community. Thank you guys.
You are wonderful as you are. So we wouldn't have you any other way. You are thoughtful, you're loving. Sometimes you, just when you need it, you get a little message from Denise. We went to, my husband and I were in New Orleans a few weeks ago for our wedding anniversary, and 24 years. So we were excited. We were having a good time, but also I was having a big case of FOMO, that we had just picked up some good synergy, and the Fam5 was forming and doing things, and I was disconnected, and I was really feeling it. And I could see them. They carried on the show without me, so I would listen in when I could, and they would admonish me for being online instead of focus on my anniversary. And I just remember going, man, they're doing so great without me. I'm not even necessary. You know, those self-limiting beliefs, those little things start planting in your head. And I would see the group messages. They were planning this, they were planning that. We meet once a week. So I missed our meeting for that week because I was traveling, and I just felt disconnected and unnecessary. And I'm like, oh, we just formed the group and they don't even need me anymore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's how I was feeling at the same time that me and my husband are rah-rah and enjoying. So I had this little, I don't know, I was just out of sorts. And then all of a sudden I got a message from Denise, and it was a video message. And she goes, I hope you're having a great time, but I just wanted you to know how much your presence is missed, and hurry back, sis. We missed, the Fam Five is missing you. And you left me here with all these guys. I need my girl back. And it was just what I needed. It cleared my head. I felt that connection. And we were actually standing in line. I think we were either going in or coming out of a really nice restaurant. We were just eating or in that space, but I was still thinking about, missing out on something else. And Denise, she dropped her little message, and that freed up that thought, cleaned up that negative energy. And now I'm fully present in what I'm doing and moving on, and knowing that, that there was a little bit of, I wanted there to be a little bit of a hole. I didn't want the group to crumble, but I wanted to be needed. I'm like, is the puzzle not missing a piece? What's happening? Why are y'all doing so well? I was confused. And Denise came along just when I needed it and dropped this little short message. Tell Tim I said hello. Happy anniversary to y'all. Don't want to disrupt what you got going on, but just want to let you know that you were missed. I'm like, how did she know how bad I needed that? And she did the same thing yesterday. She dropped me a really nice message yesterday. And that's just what it is to be connected to Denise. You're going to get what you need when you need it. And I don't even know if she realizes what she's doing. She's just being Denise. And in that, she's filling holes in my space. I can't speak for anybody else, but she's certainly filling holes. I've got a amen from Eric. A hand went up. So Denise, we would not have you any other way, because you are one of the pieces in this puzzle called Fam Five. And if you thwarted yourself, pieces only fit one way, right? So if you change anything about Denise, now all of a sudden our puzzle doesn't fit together quite the way it was designed to. So we're grateful. We are absolutely grateful for you. And I love it when I get surprisingly Denise. All right, we have some more messages that came through. Oh, quite a few. Please do.
I got a message from Denise yesterday, exactly when I needed it. Let me say hi to Brian. I didn't say hi to Brian, and everybody listening. I appreciate y'all being here. Denise is so special. She's so connected with us.
Yeah, that's
what you know what I mean. Like, I feel like she knew I needed the message that she sent it, and sent it right when I needed it. I picked up the phone. I seen the sister sent me, I think it was like 5 messages. And then I started looking at them, and it was just perfect. It was right what I needed for my mind. Her words were right on time. She spoke right to me as if I had already sent her the question or what I need. You know what I mean? It was like I already, as soon as I needed it, I reached for it. It was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't thank you enough, Denise, for being you. Exactly who you are, how you show up in my life is to use Cassandra's metaphor, the peace I needed. You know, so I love you, sis. I appreciate you. I love seeing you blossom the way that you are. And all your majesty right now, even on the screen, is just, I'm loving being part of this process, and I'm here for you, and just thank you, sis, really.
Agreed. I'm just throwing out a whole bunch of exclamation points. So
right?
Feel the love, Denise, feel the love. And we've had quite a few comments that have come in since. Rose Ashford, welcome. Conchita says, yes, exceptional discussion today. Love the transparency of everyone. Justin says, forever learning is a key to a successful life. Absolutely. And then there's old David Jones. David said, Maggie the goat, LOL. We have to give Maggie we have to thank Maggie for giving Denise some entertainment, something fun to focus on too. And then Justin said, a great book suggested to me by one of my mentors. Justin, would you, what book are you talking about? I may have missed it. So if you want to drop the name of the book in the as a comment as well, if you're still here, I'll make sure to share that. And then Kim says, I am sure you can see how much I am interacting as to maybe 2 months ago. These types of rooms are so powerful. Keep up the good work and positive vibes. I can finally feel Kim coming back around. Not there yet completely, but definitely feel the path back. And your rooms is a consistent show for me because I enjoy you guys and your wise words. Happy Friday. Focus is hard for me too, Denise. Love the time blocking idea for sure. Time blocking is amazing because it is the one of the keys. It's a tool for focus for that period of time, be it an hour, 2 hours, whatever works for you. During that time, you're only doing that thing and you're saying no to everything else. So it is an excellent tool to help you develop focus and to hone you in on a task at hand for a significant amount of time. You can't help but to make progress. And then the other part of her focus, her time blocking, is the time she built in between. It's important to get up, to move around, to get away from the task, call your family, like she said, do something else, because that allows your brain to kind of just have that relaxing time, right? And then you get back refreshed, recharged, ready to go back to the task at hand. So it's a really good tool. So I would definitely concur with what Denise said and encourage you to give that a shot, Kim, if with focus being something that you struggle with. David says the biggest hater is always yourself, not other people. Yeah. That's why we talk about the voice within wins. That's why we talk about how important it is for you to tap into your own internal messaging so that you can reframe that stuff, get rid of that negative messaging, transform your inner critic into your inner advocate. That gets you out of your own way so that you can make the journey from where you are to where it is that you are trying to get to. Justin said, love it. Let's see, Joanne, all you guys are so amazing. God is going to take you on amazing journeys. Though you may feel that what you're doing is rather small right now, continue being consistent and persistent. Consistent and persistent. We got a Dr. Seuss there for you, Brian. God has not put you guys together for no reason. The world needs to hear you, and they will. Thank you for that, Mother. Let's see. Conchita. Thank you, Denise. 1.5 hours is doing great. I am only up to 45 minutes in my time block. There you go. But that's 45 productive minutes. That's amazing. For 45 minutes, you are progressing towards whatever it is that's the task at hand. So time blocking works. I'm all for it. MD Abkur says, Abdur, Joanne Ellis, how are you? Did you hear my mom sing yesterday, MD? She brought the house down yesterday, but he's asking how you're doing, Mother. Rose gave prayer hands, and Kim says, I agree. You think, OMG, how did she know? That's what good friends do. Yeah, she said, when you get those little messages, right, like what you talked about yesterday from Denise yesterday, Eric, you're like, is she in my head? How did she even know, right, to send this? That's what good friends do. They just know, it seems. I feel people are put in our lives for a reason, good and bad. I don't even recall how I found your room, Cassandra, but sure enough, it found me. That's amazing. Thank you for that, Kim. Justin says, set boundaries to focus on. And Sharon says, you never know who you're helping and inspiring. Keep it going. Rose said 100 great suggestions. So we have a very, 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 very active group of folks with us this morning, and we are so blessed by all of your shares. With that, I think next in the room was Brian. Brian, are you in a position where you can share with us this morning?
I don't know about the position, but I can talk. I got one leg stretched out. I got a head on me one way. I got a foot in my face.
Mm-hmm. And I know you wouldn't have it any other way. You are living the dream. You are living the dream.
I am. You just see the smile on my face right now. So I'm hearing everything everyone is saying about their space and focus and consistency, and it ties so perfectly into what I was going to share this morning. Really what I wanted to do. I wanted to share. Grand Rising, everyone. Hey, Mama J, glad you came back again today.
Justin said you're dadding it up. You're dadding it up.
I'm dadding it up. I'm dadding it up. That's what I do. I love being a dad. I can't tell you how much. But so, you know, in being a dad and being an entrepreneur and just being a steward of the community and of what God's given me, you really have to focus. And focus is more than just a word. It's gotta be actions that you take every day. So everyone was talking earlier about their space. And when I think about my space, I think about knowing what it is that I want. I think about setting those things in place so I have a place to go to. And for me, that involves setting objectives and goals and tasks. And those three things are the first actionable step that I take. Identifying those things that I want. And I'm going to give two more because I want everybody to get this. It's so important that you maintain your focus so that you can, and it's not about the money. It's about living a life of service and humility and gratitude so that you're smiling when you're doing the work you were put down here to do. Mm-hmm. So setting objectives, goals, and tasks, that's the first thing. And the second thing is creating a routine. That routine that you create in those objectives and in those goals and those tasks, it sets up consistency, right? That consistency is what fuels that habit. That habit is what gets you going so that when distractions come about, you're better able to move around or overcome them. And limiting those distractions, that's number three. And it basically goes back to what Denise was saying, you know, being mindful of your time. You know, I like the P technique that Denise was talking about. Blocking out my time, setting a timer, and knowing when to step away and just taking a break and saying, whew, I did some work. And now I'm gonna free my mind, and I'll come back in another hour, another 30 minutes, and I get back to the next task at hand. But having those three things in place, for me, it really helps me to stay focused. And that time blocking is how I'm able to do what I'm doing now, because I know yesterday I did this, and this. So when my daughter wants to put her left foot on my right eye and squeeze until it feels like, you know, she's gonna make that eye pop out of my ear, I can smile and say, okay, I know what I was supposed to do today, but I'm not gonna do it because I did enough yesterday. That's a time block, and I'm cool with that. And I admonish everyone to do that same thing, right? Set those actionable steps in place so that you can stay focused, not just on the things that you have to do, but on what you were put here to do. That's it for me, Cassandra.
What was it? So setting objective goals and tasks. What was the second one?
Oh, it was so setting goals and objectives and tasks. Mm-hmm. Number two is I'm trying not to wake her up while I'm saying this. Uh-oh. Number two is being able to. Can you guys still hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes. We might be losing him. So what I'll do afterwards is I'll get all three and I'll drop them in the comments for you guys, so that you have that method. I was trying to
Can you still
listen.
hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now, Brian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So number one was setting those objective goals and tasks. Number two
Mm-hmm.
is creating a routine.
That's
The
it.
routine helps you to gain consistency
Yep.
so that you build a habit, and that those habits that you form help you block out distractions.
Yep.
But you can't just rely on the routine to help you block out distractions. You actually have to take some definitive action in limiting those distractions yourself. And that's where that P technique that Denise talked about came into play, right? Time blocking, setting
Mm-hmm.
time for a certain task and sticking to the time that you've set for the task, and then giving yourself some grace to walk away and saying, I did a good job. Let me take a break, let me refuel, and then I'll come back. So
Yep.
it's setting objective goals and tasks, creating a routine, and managing your distractions, limiting your distractions.
Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just wanted to drop them in the comments for everybody. So wherever you guys are watching, you can grab those. I don't think comments show up on LinkedIn. So, but those of you who are on YouTube and on Facebook, y'all should have the 3 steps that he just provided. And I'll go into LinkedIn after we finish the call and share them there as well.
Hey, everyone, I'm gonna jump off. I got another call this morning I gotta take.
Well, thank you for dropping those gems before you go. Thank you.
I wasn't leaving. Not till I gave them to you. I want everybody to live their best life, like Snoop Dogg says.
We appreciate you. All right. So we are back to our quote. You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. So Jay, what does James Allen spark for you when you hear that quote, or what would you like to share?
So, as usual, I start off with a Bible verse. So we'll explore the quote and the Bible verse together. And what came to me was Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Be devoted to one another in love, honor one another above yourselves. And so when we were talking and when I heard Denise talking and Kim sharing what she shared, this is the power of community. And this is the power of us caring for one another, right? Um, and when we come together as the Fam Five on the Cassandra Terry Morning Show, yes, we're pouring into each other, but we're also pouring out to the audience. And we want to, I believe, we all want to have a positive impact on the people that watch us and the people that hear us, because we we have all experienced struggle, adversity, each as individuals of the Fam 5 collective. And I always say I share my stories in the hopes that it can be a blueprint for others, and that they can look at that blueprint and see that maybe this is how they can walk through their adversity, walk through their struggles, and walk up to what they perceive may be a barrier to their success or just their daily walk in life. And so I encourage others to tell their story. And I'm here as the storytelling strategist, leaning into my purpose to to encourage those people who may not think that they even have a story to tell. You have a story to tell. You do. And this right here, for me, is the physical manifestation of us sharing our stories and having that impact, that positive impact on others. Kim reaffirmed that for me this morning. And it's a powerful, powerful thing to be witness of. And so when we come together, we're coming together to pour into each other, but pour out to everybody else as well. And we are all in the hopes of making sure that this is all positive and that we're making positive impacts wherever we go, doing whatever it is we're doing, but in sharing our stories. And so I don't want to. I'm feeling like I'm rambling on, but I I want to go back to that point and make sure that people understand that your story is important, and maybe sharing that story and being transparent, being authentic, especially in a public space, can not only help you, it can help someone else as well. And that to me is really the message I hear this morning. One other thing I'd like to share. Denise, I I get it. The focus, right? It's something that a lot of us, especially those who write, may feel creeps up all the time. Can I focus? Having those squirrel moments. Squirrel. you know, it happens. It happens, and I get it. Um, it my wife the other day, she was having a conversation, and she shared the conversation with me later, and it is totally her. So she shares her calendar with her immediate boss, her immediate supervisor, and he goes to look to see where he can fit in. And it takes him a minute because she has everything blocked out, like to the minute. And not only does she have it to the minute blocked out, she has everything color coded as well. Like she knows what those colors stand for and where things are going to be and what exactly the time frame is supposed to be for each of those things. And he says, sometimes I just get overwhelmed. To which she wanted to reply, well, now do you know how I feel? um, so, but it helps. It really helps her. And when you're a leader and when you're managing or leading an entire team, every minute, every second counts because you want your attention to be able to go to where it needs to go exactly when it needs to go there because people rely on you. And today, and becoming part of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show and the Fam 5, I understand that it's important to show up. And yes, I was preparing all night last night. I'm cleaning. I'm, making marinades and things like that. Absolutely. Why I chose to clean baseboards right before the Thanksgiving, th- it's my OCD,
It's
I
what we do.
guess. But I just want to bring all of that to the table, and I just thank everyone. I'm still in that thankful and gratitude mode for hearing the messages and reading the messages today.
And there's more. There are more messages. They are still coming in. Justin said the book I was trying to share was Boundaries, updated and expanded edition by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. Let's see. And then message for you, Denise, from my mom. Denise has a very special gift from God. All of you guys do. Continue to walk in what he has given you. I'm so proud of you all, and know that what you're doing is God driven. God has many more blessings with your names on it. We receiving all of that, all of it. We taking it in. No ducking, no dodging, nothing. We are absorbing that like a sponge. Keep speaking life, mother. We appreciate it. Camille said, love that. Thank you for the 3 steps. Jay, you know, my mom gets excited when you start with your verses. So she was, come on, Jay, with the hands up. And Kim said, LOL, absolutely. My hubby tries to refocus me, but I am cleaning the windows or something silly. Exactly. I don't know what it is, but there's just this, I've got my food right. I have the family. You want everything to be perfect. You want to bring in all the creature comforts and make sure everyone has a good time on one hand. And then sometimes, you know, you got the nosy family member that's coming, that's going to be looking at the baseboard. So you have all kinds of stuff going on. But but it is all good. It is all good. Jay, thank you for that. Great gems as always. And Eric, I hope you're not frozen solid. But we are so blessed to have that sunshine coming from you, even though we see the big blanket, so we know it's cold out there. So, but please unmic and share what you have for us.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I would say that I'm still in my holding pattern. I am accepting that now, and or this morning I was going through my affirmations, and I had to accept that I'm in a holding pattern and stop getting frustrated with myself for goals I'm not meeting because I'm not present. And so I decided to just accept that. Just accept that. I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be mad, frustrated. I'm not going to throw shame at myself. I'm not going to set unrealistic expectations. I'm not going to put pressure on myself in an unhealthy way. It's just not, it's not what it is. The service for Granny is tomorrow, and I've just accepted that I'm there. I'm not going to be able to be there physically at her service, but I'm already mentally and emotionally there. And so it's time to like really start that celebration and that grieving and allow that to happen how it's going to happen, accept it, and be with her, uh, being in just in a place where you can accept that this is what it is, and go through it. And so I'm here going through it with you. And like Jay said, it was important to me to be present, but I knew that even if I took diligent notes today, that I was going to again be at a loss for words when it comes to expressing anything more than just where I am emotionally right now, and accepting that, and sharing that, and being present how I can, where I can, but being unapologetic about the fact that I'm grieving and I'm not going to be the 100% best that you might expect or have seen previously. It's just not it's not how my cup is filled today. My cup is not full today, in a way that I have. And I spoke with a young lady. I haven't gotten a chance to speak with her again. Her name is Erica, and I don't know why I'm missing the last name right now, but she told me she only gives from her saucer. I only give from my saucer. I said, I'm taking that right away. I unmiked, I was rude. I apologize, but I said, I got to take that because it makes so much sense to only give from your saucer. Don't give from your cup. If your cup ain't full enough to be pouring over and give from your saucer, then you don't have enough to give. Because you must first be full yourself. You got to put your mask on first, right? If you're on an airplane, you got to put your mask on first before you can put your son's mask on, your partner's mask on, your neighbor's mask on. no matter how caring you are, right? So put your mask on first. Only give from your saucer. Don't give from your cup anymore. You have to be full. And I recognize today in this moment, I am not full. I'm not full. And so I can't give. And I had to accept that. And yesterday when I said that, I was so embarrassed at first. I was overwhelmed with this feeling of embarrassed. College educated, man, I've been taking notes. I can't reflect. I can't add to the conversation. Then accept that. Don't be embarrassed. Accept that. Smile at yourself, right? Because you're not perfect, right? There's only one perfect. So the definition of being human is to be imperfect. So accept that. Laugh at yourself. It's okay. Be human. And then move in purpose. Move where you are. My purpose is to share my pain, my struggle, my process. And so that's what I'm going to share. And if I can't share anything else, then I've been on purpose. I've served my purpose. I shared what I could. And so, Cassandra, I'm gonna throw it back to you. That's where I land today. Is that I'm here with you. I'm here for you, but my cup isn't full. So I can't give. And I'm okay with that. I'm
That's
okay with
great.
that.
And
I'm okay with that.
that's a powerful share, because first of all, it's absolutely on topic. All you just talked about was where your focus is right now, right? And then you normalized giving yourself grace when you're going through something and not setting those unrealistic expectations, because that just adds to the struggle. It makes life more difficult. And that's the one thing that you can control. You can't control the season that you're in right now.
Right.
Right? It is the season. Like you said, it is what it is. You can't change that. But you can decide, as you have, to show up and to ground and to reach out to others and to explain your process and your focus in hopes of helping somebody else. You can't, there's nothing bigger than that. So it's not about a particular tagline. It's not about dropping some real succinct, slick, the voice within wins. That's great. But to have you model how you're moving through your grief process is going to help not only you get through it, but it's going to help somebody else. It already is. That's why people are responding. And I feel like Granny is driving you deeper towards and into your focus, more about the grounding and the processing and the writing through your pain, and how it ties so beautifully with your trauma informed background. She is driving you to bring that all together and to not be a squirrel. You can't be a squirrel right now. It's hard enough to focus on one thing because there's so much internal going on. But I just feel like right now she is being a guiding light to your directive, to what it is that you were designed to do, at least in this season. And the reason that I think that is so true is because of the response that you're getting from your newsletter.
Yeah.
So many people are talking about how your transparency is helping them. Yeah. And most people, a newsletter is maybe once a week if they're real good, and every other week, once a month. Multiple times a day you're dropping in installments, and people, you're getting more and more followers and more people responding to what you need, because this season may be driven by a loss for you right now, but this season of the year is hard for so many people. So the same things that you're doing to maneuver the loss of your grandmother applies beautifully to the season that people are in, and the seasonal depression and the difficulties people have during this holiday season, when you're seeing all these commercials of the families running around and all this perfection polished up for TV, and then they look at their lives and go, that's not what I'm experiencing, so there must be something wrong with me, right? Well, you also don't have a camera crew and makeup and a script like the people that we're looking at do. And so I think you're helping bring reality and giving proven tips and techniques and a process to help people maneuver whatever is their obstacle, their form of grief. Because grief is not always the death of a loved one. It shows up in different ways. Divorce is grief. It's the death of a relationship. Losing your job is grief. You know, there's so many ways that grief can show up. And so it's important what you're doing. And then the only thing, because you know I love to correct language. The only thing I want to say back to you in what you shared was something along the lines of, I may not be showing up as the 100% that you guys in the way that you expect. There are no expectations. The expectation is that we're going to show up when we can and we're going to give what we have. Doesn't even mean you're going to be here every day. I don't believe I have the right to set that expectation for anybody, because life is happening within your space, and then we're expanding and sharing that life in this larger space. So we're all just doing the best we can with what we have, where we are right now. And that's good enough. That's really all that we can do. And in doing that, our cups will start to be refilled. But you're right, it's the spillage, it's the overpour. That's what's for everybody else. So that saucer analogy is beautiful.
It's
That's
so beautiful. I feel like I'm sitting in a saucer. And the first video I got from Denise yesterday was a picture of this very same setup in Grenada. And it was like I instantly saw, as soon as I saw it, I was transmitted to the scene of the Cassandra Terry show from Grenada. And me being in the same swing, in the same position, in another place, it shot my mind into space. And it was amazing. Like that's the connection. She was able to take me from, I was feeling lonely, I was talking to Granny, I was missing her, because normally I'd be eating her macaroni and cheese and greens, and I mean, just, you know what I mean? It was one of them experiences where you're surrounded by your loved ones and you're eating the food have always been eating, and so you're in love, surrounded by loved ones, eating food you love. And I was by myself. And I reached out and I got a video of a place where I'm going to be, in a place just like this. So it was just like, took me right out of that dark place and shot me to the moon. And so right on time, sis. Really right on time.
Can I just want to say something real quick to Brother E. So Renee is unable to join her family to say goodbye to her father.
Right.
And it's a tough one. It's really tough. And so when you talk about being there already for your grandma, I totally understand. Because I'm trying to be there for Renee, who can't be there physically, but is already there emotionally. And for us who aren't exactly tied to that family member, all we can do is be there. Again, going back to the quote, going back to the message that's coming through today, all we can do is be there for those who need us. And I'm here, E. I got you. Just like I'm doing for Renee, I'm doing for you. And this is how we show up for each other. This is how we're showing up for our audience. And so this is all in alignment. We talk about alignment a lot amongst the
The A
fam
word.
five.
The A word, yes.
This is all in alignment. So it's really beautiful, and I shouldn't be surprised anymore at all the alignments that keep showing up. But it's happening, and it's all for a purpose, and it's all for greater good. And thank you, Mama J, for supporting me and wanting me to preach. I'm just sharing the good news. So thank you.
Awesome. We have a few more comments that have come in. Conchita was resonating really with what you were saying, Eric. How does the saucer have to give if the cup has not been full to the overflow? It doesn't. And there are times in our lives when we don't have anything to give and we push through and give anyway. And then we end up creating lack or stress and anxiety or whatever, however it shows up for ourselves. So it's really important to know where you are in your process. Is my cup full in this space? Do I have it enough to share? And when you don't, be okay with not being able to give as well, instead of pushing yourself into a situation that's going to negatively affect you. My mom said, "That's great, Eric. Sometimes we have to be still. We have to accept what God allows." Yes, you are so right. You are really blessing me. Wow, you are such an amazing young man. To God be the glory. Conchita said, "Eric, you are a true superstar." And Adabusi says, "Awesome time with great people. Goat, all you are." So we got the goat back. Thank you, Adabusi. And then we have Kim said, "Oh, lost my brother Christmas Eve 10 years ago, but still. Lost my mom March of 2020. So yes, this time of the year is very hard on top of the already struggle of just life." I so feel that, Kim. We lost my mother-in-law October the 10th. Um, I spent about 4 years ago now, 2018. And there's just something, and it was 10:10 at 10. I was with her, me and her daughter, when she took her final, people say her final breath, but it was, for her, it was like 4 or 5 quick breaths. And I'd never experienced anything like that. And I didn't know that I would have the strength to push to even stay, because previously I didn't, when I had been in an experience near that. But it left such a hole and a mark on my life. And that's just me. It's my husband's mom, so he's still, this time of the year is super super hard. Every Christmas we spend at her house, with the exception of one Christmas, in 20 plus years. My son was born December 3rd, and 3 weeks later we were at her house for Christmas. So every Christmas of his life, except for one, had been there. So it was just such a part of our routine, and we had the routine with how, when we collected with the rest of the family and all that, and it just blew up. And the Christmas after that was so weird. And I remember talking to my husband and his sister, saying, "We've got to do something. We've got to create new traditions. Do we travel and go somewhere night? What are we going to do so that this time is not so difficult?" And so we consciously made a decision to start to create new traditions for the family. And now everybody comes to my house, and the day after Christmas we go down to our place that's on the water, and which is really close to where my husband grew up, and it gives us some time to be close to where he had all of his Christmas memories, and we get a chance to just kind of recharge our batteries before we start the new year. And so, find your new normal. Whatever, when you need to cry, cry. When you need to scream, scream. When you need to shut down, by all means, shut down. If you need to emote and talk about it, do that too. Whatever it is that you need to move through your process is right, because it's your process. So I can't tell you, what to do, because I only know what worked for me and my family. But what I can tell you is that the days will come. The pain doesn't go away, but you do learn to manage it better. You still have that hole, but you start to focus on and laugh more and remember that person in the good times that you had with them versus being focused on the fact that they're physically not here. So you do go through, but it's a process, and it's up and down, peaks and valleys. And so you ride it out how you need to ride it out, and don't expect that there's a magic bullet, a right way and a wrong way. It's just your way, what you need to go through to get to the other side of this and get rebalanced. Right now you're topsy turvy because your balance is off. And so in rebalance, you will, but it will come back. You will get balanced again. I promise. I promise. I was talking to someone a couple of days ago, and she lost a son, and it's been about, I want to say, 14 years, and she just talks about him with so much joy. And I just can't imagine. My son is my baby, so I can't even imagine being where she is and able to remember and talk about her son with so much joy and not falling apart. But that's been a 14-year journey to get her to that point. So comparison is the thief of joy. So don't compare your journey to anybody else's, hold anybody else up as the way to do it. You have to find your way in whatever it is. But you will find your way through as long as you keep moving through. All right. So Kim says, love that Denise sends video messages. It just connects a little deeper. It really does. My mom says, speak, daughter. Rose says, thank you for sharing your stories. Love the the cup analogy. And she says, my deepest condolences. Kim says, so true. Traditions are awesome. Exactly what I say. We need to navigate this new norm. Exactly. She said, my mom was my bestie. She was a single mom and worked her ass off. Made me stronger, but knowing she made it through the loss of a child makes me stronger. Absolutely. And we can look to people as, beacons of hope and light, and to show us where we can get if we keep moving. But yeah, you have to go through your process and get rebalanced and find your new normal. And that is exactly what we are hoping for each of you guys. We have come to the end of another Cassandra Terry morning show. Today, we have been focused on focus. You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. James Allen. Thank you guys so much for all the transparent shares, for the inspiration, and for the support. We will be back on Tuesday for Transformation Tuesday at 7:15 a.m. Central. Conchita says, this has been so healing today on so many levels. Well, God bless you, Conchita. I'm so glad to hear that. That is the point. It's not for likes and grins. It's for sharing what we've been through, sharing our messages in hopes to help somebody else through what it is that they are going through. And each one of you are doing that, guys. Your comments are helping. You may not be the face on the screen, but we see you, we hear you, we feel you, and together we're all making a difference. And I so appreciate that. Kim, you have a great weekend too. We wish a great weekend to all of you. And I've got a request. Everybody bring somebody else on Tuesday. Share it, talk about it, tell people what we're doing here, because we are going into that season where that's joyful for many and so painful for just as many. And so we want people to find this as a safe space, to be encouraged, to be inspired, and to have the opportunity to dump their bucket a little bit if that's what they need to do. My mom said, helping others heal. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys bring somebody with you that have never heard of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show or have never tuned in with any of us. And let's keep growing this community. And our reach can't be big enough. The more people show up, the more opportunities there are for us to impact and for us to be impacted. So with that, we are going to call it a morning, a day, an evening, and we will be back on Tuesday, as I said. See you guys back for Transformation Tuesday at 7:15 a.m. Central. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. See you next week. Thanks, Fam 5. I love you guys.